It's impossible.
So say it one more time. We cannot attract anything we want in our lives that we feel separate from.
Exactly.
What if we do attract something from lack? When we have it, how will it make us feel?
Well, if you work hard and you put in your time, and matter to matter, you're getting your behaviors to match your intentions and your actions equal to your thoughts. You're getting your mind and body working together. You're going to run into your goal. You're going to run into your experience. The experience of your abundance, your experience of your thing that you want, takes away the lack of not having it, right? But some people are creating, but they're spending their whole life in lack, waiting for their world to change to feel abundant, right? And we discovered that that's kind of the opposite of the way people actually get what they want. When they start holding a very clear vision of their future, and we call that intention, and you need a coherent brain to do that, and we work diligently to get people's brains tuned up to order. The more coherent the brain, the more high functioning it is, the greater the signal. And it turns out that you have to feel the emotion of the future before it happens, because the emotion is the energy that's going to drive your body to that end and to have the experience. And at the same time, if you're truly practicing feeling the emotion of your future, you won't be in lack. In fact, you'll feel, if you feel like your future has already happened, you'll never look for it. You only look for it when you feel separate from it. So it's kind of an analogy of like, cause and effect, waiting for your healing to feel gratitude, waiting for your abundance to feel worthy or successful, waiting for your relationship to feel love, the old model of reality of cause and effect. The new model of reality is causing an effect.
Causing an effect.
Yeah, the moment you feel gratitude, your healing begins.
Wow.
The moment you're empowered and you're worthy, you're stepping or generating abundance, you're stepping towards your success. Now, the moment you're in love with yourself and in love with life and you see beauty in all things, it's natural that you'll attract an equal. So that's causing an effect, right? And so all you need is a clear intention and an elevated emotion. Mm-hmm. And when you combine that clear intention and elevated emotion, just like when a person is remembering the past and feeling the emotion, if you start holding the intention and you feel the emotion, the stronger the emotion you feel, the more you remember the vision and you can begin to remember your future. Why is that important? Because biologically, if you do it well, your brain will look like it's already happened. And if you do it really well, genetically, your body will begin to change to look like it's already happened. In other words, our data shows that in 7 days at a week-long event, when people really get in the creative process, they upregulate thousands of genes and metabolites to suggest that they're living in a whole new life, a whole new environment. The body's so objective. It doesn't know the difference between a real-life experience that creates the emotion and the emotion that we can create by thought alone. To the body, it's exactly the same. So the body begins to believe it's living in that future. And of course, there's the thought and the feeling. There's the image and the emotion. There's the stimulus and response. We can condition the body emotionally to begin to believe it's living in the future. And if the environment signals the gene, and it does, the end product of an experience in the environment is emotion, you could actually regulate genes, upregulate genes ahead of the environment. That's exactly what we discovered. And people's bodies and brains change enough that it looks like the event has already happened. Now, this is where the fun part starts. Because if there's physical evidence in your brain and body that it has already happened, time to relax. This is when the synchronicities, this is when the opportunities, this is when the coincidences, all of a sudden you no longer have to go anywhere and do anything to get it. Somehow there's an attraction, they're coming to you. They're coming to you without having to do anything. And so it's just a reframing of our understanding of how to create. You can get really good at creating a lot of things matter to matter. You can, study. You can learn from your mistakes. You can, get consulting. You can do all these things, and you can get really good at doing it. But there's another way. There is another way. And so to answer the question about being stuck, many people are living their whole entire life, not consciously, they're just subconsciously waiting for their wealth to happen so they could feel abundant, waiting for their new relationship to feel love, that old model of reality.
And what I'm hearing you say is that your personality creates your personal reality. And your personality is based on how we think, act, and feel. And so if we're living in a personality state currently that is creating the results of feeling separate or lacked from abundance, a better relationship, more money, better health, then we must learn to shift the personality to create a new reality for ourselves.
It's exactly the truth. In other words, in order for you to create a new personal reality, you have to change your personality. In other words, nothing changes in our life until we change. Now, look, it's really simple. Just look, just make it really simple. Let's just say somebody wants to have a goal to make a certain amount of money.
Yes.
Or they want to get in shape, right? And here's the personality who's on the couch, who's, eating Fritos, and drinking a beer, Twinkies, laying around, not motivated at all. And the person wants to get healthy, or the person wants to become abundant. There's got to be a lot of things that have to change in order for you to be the personality of abundance, because it isn't abundance, it's who you become. It's who you become in the process.
It's almost like this person is out of alignment from the goal, the vision, the dream that they want to have. They have to be in more alignment of the person that can create that and harmonize with it, is what I'm hearing you say.
And it's let's demystify it. If you want to become abundant, study abundant people. Get as much knowledge and resources, enough connections in your brain so you have a storehouse of information for you can dream what it is to be abundant. Because if you study abundant people, they made a lot of mistakes. People betrayed them. People got stole from them. They lost everything. They had a journey, and the difference is they just went one more time. They just didn't see failure. They just kept going. So, what are the qualities and characteristics that you would have to embody to become that abundant person? And get busy doing that. Get busy doing that in terms of change, and use it as an experiment. Like, if I change, will my life change, right? If I give up lack, if I give up fear, yeah, it sounds easy theoretically. You're going to have to put your time in. You're going to have to work inwardly. You're going to have to do some surveillance on your own thoughts and how you act and how you feel. And you got to get really good. So good at doing it with your eyes closed, you got to do it with your eyes open. It means you can't default in your life, right?
Yeah, when life happens and there's distractions and people in your face and people cutting you off in the
emotional
street.
response, and you seamlessly return back to the old personality. It's the worst. But that's why we have another day.
Yes.
It's a new day. Like, okay, how did I do? One day, one lifetime. Like, how did I do? I sucked. Okay, God's not up there with a laptop keeping track. You got another shot at it the next day. So can you learn from the last day and say, when did I fall from grace? Oh, I reacted to that person or circumstance with the same emotion. That emotion caused me to behave as if I was in my past and believe in my past. And that's when you no longer see the future, because the emotion that you're feeling is keeping you connected to the past. You only believe in your future when you feel the emotion of your future. So enthusiasm and theos, filled with God, inspiration, inspire the movement of energy, right? The energy that it takes, the looking forward to, the optimism, that is what drives us to our dreams. And you just got to be able to sustain that state of being independent of anyone or anything in your life. And if you can, get ready, because that's when your life changes. You're literally thinking differently, you're acting differently, and you're feeling differently. That's a new personality, and that means a new personal reality. That's the experiment.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more inspiring clips like this, make sure to click right here to subscribe, and click right here to watch that next video that is specific to support you in your life.